News at 5 starts now.
A 93-year-old vet recreates his D-Day parachute jump over Normandy. Ahead why he says this jump 70 years later was a bit easier.
Plus, the husband of a missing Lubbock woman who was found dead in Big Spring now charged with murder.
And jury duty dodgers, how Midland County judges are cracking down on those who don't show up for their civic duty. Good evening, I'm Stephanie Sobic.
And I'm Tyler Thomason. Thanks so much for joining us here on local Big 2 News at 5. A missing Lubbock woman found dead here in West Texas.
Today, police charged her husband with homicide. Wednesday's officials found this woman, Rachel Ann Guzman, dead in Big Spring. The family reported that Guzman and her husband had been having marital problems and reported her missing last week. Authorities in Lubbock began searching for her, saying her life may be in danger. The woman's husband, Epifanio Guzman, was under arrest in Howard County on charges of indecency with a child, and today Lubbock police also charged him for the homicide of Rachel Ann Guzman. Reports show her body was discovered near Martin Luther King Boulevard in FM 700. So far, police have not released any details surrounding her death, but the autopsy is pending. Police have notified her family of her death.
She had a big heart, and you know, she opened her doors to anybody. She worked her tail off. You know, everybody loved my sister. I mean, she was always in a good mood. You know, and just full of life, you know. Sorry they were so taken from us, you know, so fast.
Rachel Guzman was last seen alive May 30th, the day her husband moved out from their home, according to police. Well, pieces of the puzzle fall together in the death of Haley Brianne Kemp. On Saturday, police found Kemp's body off County Road 135 and 1205 in Midland County. At this time, authorities said no foul play was suspected. Now the sheriff's office says her body was taken from a trailer where they believe she died to the place where she was ultimately discovered. And the sheriff's office says they know who did it. Christopher Snyder and Robert Aiken are both charged with felony tampering with evidence. The two were arrested at the trailer on South County Road 1224. The results of Kemp's autopsy are still pending. Deputies also found cocaine and heroin at the trailer where these two were arrested.
Meanwhile, after 4 days in court, an accused killer convicted and sentenced in Odessa. Marcus Lacey gets 90 years in prison for the 2012 murder of 62-year-old Charles Jennings. The murder trial of Marcus Lacey began Tuesday with jury selection. Lacey is convicted of slitting the throat of 62-year-old Charles Jennings at an Odessa home back in July of 2012. Days later, deputies arrested Lacey in Roswell, New Mexico, before he was extradited back to Texas. Along with his sentence, he's ordered to pay a $10,000 fine. District Attorney Bobby Bland says he hopes this sentence brings closure to the Jennings family. A big meth ring bust Thursday leads to the arrest of 28 people so far, but now 4 accused drug dealers are still on the loose. These 4 suspects you see here still wanted this evening. They face charges for dealing drugs. If convicted, they could be sentenced to 5 to 20 years in prison. Today we learn police arrest 2 more. If convicted, these alleged drug dealers face 10-year prison sentences. Midland County judges making an ultimatum when it comes to showing up for jury duty. Today, more than 200 citizens who failed to appear for jury duty last month were called to court for an explanation.
And this time, a lot of them showed up. Local Big 2's Camila Bernal spoke with the judges. She's live at the Midland County Courthouse with what happened today and the consequences for those who still didn't show up. Camila?
Midland County tells me that not having jurors is a problem they've been having for months. Every Monday, more than 700 letters get sent out for jury duty, but only about 150 actually show up. Today, judges took the first step in punishing those who are avoiding their civic duty.
The problem is that we don't have enough juries.
All right, Camila, appreciate that report. 70 years ago today, troops stormed the beaches of Normandy.
A pivotal point that changes the course of World War II, ultimately bringing it to an end. The biggest invasion in history, more than 5,000 ships, 11,000 planes, and more than 150,000 servicemen. Under cover of night, troops bombard the beaches. American forces take Utah and Omaha. Paris liberated in less than 3 months, and by May 8th, the war in Europe over. Adolf Hitler and his wife take their own lives.
Leaders gathered to remember the fallen soldiers from that fateful day. President Obama applauds U.S. service members at the American Cemetery in Colleyville-sur-Mer. The cemetery overlooks Omaha Beach, where so many fell in battle. Obama says he's honored, quote, pay tribute to the men and women of a generation who defied danger on this day. The ceremony concluded with a 21-gun salute and a military jet flyover.
A 93-year-old veteran who parachuted into Normandy 70 years ago wanted to try it one more time. Jim Bitterman has his story.
Cool stuff. All over the world, people are remembering the 70th anniversary of D-Day. In New York, a French group showers the Statue of Liberty in 1 million rose petals to express gratitude. A group of children also unfold American and French flags before the Lady Liberty. Afterward, a ceremony on Liberty Island featuring World War II veterans, dignitaries, and the U.S. and French honor guards. A little history lesson: the Statue of Liberty was a gift to the United States from the people of France. And back here in the basin, temperatures staying pretty hot, huh?
They really are, but we're actually going to cool off a little bit heading into the weekend.
Just a little.
Just a little. Relatively cooler. Taking a look at your headlines, we do have that slightly cooler weekend, especially on Sunday. Tomorrow will still be hot, Sunday a little bit cooler. Isolated thunderstorms also, especially on Sunday, and the very hot weather will return again by the middle part of next week. We'll have your full forecast coming up.
All right, Nick, thanks. Still to come, the Bad Boy Blast raising money for the volunteer fire departments across West Texas.
And the show where the audience gets in on the action, Summer Mummers at the Yucca Theater.
For the latest news, listen to Big 2 updates weekday mornings beginning at 6 a.m. on Genuine Country Kicks 99.1.
Aim for a good cause. For the 11th year, ConocoPhillips hosted their annual Bad Boy Blast. Shoot the money raised from the event benefits volunteer fire departments in our area. To date, the shoot raises $1.1 million, and this year they hope to bring in $200,000 and hand over a big check to the volunteer fire departments that keep us safe. The American Red Cross steps in when there's a disaster, and this weekend our local chapter prepares for just that. Today the Red Cross for Emergency Preparedness, our Permian Basin chapter, partners with several local agencies, including the cities of Midland and Odessa, to practice disaster response, including emergency sheltering skills. It's going on until noon tomorrow at Midland College. And if you want to help, the Red Cross says they need volunteers to act in the drill.
Again for Tuesday, Wednesday, with the 100s returning for Wednesday and Thursday of next week.
It's crazy when the low 90s is a cool down.
It really is, but we got to get used to it with summer coming up toward the Permian Basin. We always get really hot.
And crazy to think too hot for storms?
It is too hot. We need cold air in the upper atmosphere.
Don't tell us that.
It's too hot. Yeah.
Nick,
All right.
thanks.
Thanks, Nick. Local artists celebrate the opening of their art gallery with free entertainment. It's being hailed as Midland's newest and hippest art gallery and music venue. Kamikaze opens tonight on the 500 block of South Big Spring. The Bitter End, Quantum Parker, and Fugitive Tycoon are set to play live music along with some local artists who will be showcasing their talent as well. The show opens for all ages tonight at 6. Summer Mummers sells out their seats in the pit. If you haven't seen or been to a show, it's a show where the audience takes part in the action. Summer Mummers runs all summer long at the historic Yucca Theater in Midland. It starts with the melodrama. Performers encourage the audience to play a part, even boo the villain when he comes on stage. This is the 66th year of Summer Mummers. The theme this year, Desert of the Dead, or your head looks tasty. To find out, head to our website, PermianBasin360.com. More information is there. All right, so Jeff joining us now. So I know people are talking about this. It's hot outside, but to be in a gym with no AC.
Guys, you know that old expression, you never value what you have until it's gone?
So true.
You don't miss the water till the well runs dry.
Yeah.
Well, the guys playing last night in San Antonio, it was like they were playing in the 1960s, 1970s without air conditioning. And coming up next on your local Big Two Sports, Spurs talk about playing without the AC. As you'll see, some didn't mind. That and more next on your local Big Two Sports. Playing the sport you love, getting paid all those millions of dollars, someone's got to do it.
Well, I've been waiting the last 3 minutes to say this. So the Heat couldn't beat the Heat?
No.
Ah, nice.
Very
Nice.
clever, though.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Around
All right, thanks, Nick. Look forward to that cool down.
into the 90s.
Well, that's all the time we have for news.
We'll see you right back here at 10 o'clock. Have a good evening.